Hi, my name's Stephen Thacker, Director of Benchmarking Success. The topic for discussion today is why benchmark your supply chain. This is an oft-asked question. What benefit is there in benchmarking my supply chain? Let me suggest that there are three answers to this question. Firstly, before embarking on any business improvement journey, it's essential to understand what the destination is. Where am I going to end up? What's my target? And what is the outcome? As Stephen Covey put it in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, habit number 2 is to begin with the end in mind. So how do we determine the end when approaching the subject of supply chain performance? The end, or the target, can be set by comparing the performance of your supply chain to, firstly, other similar supply chains, and more importantly, to best in class. If we truly aspire to be the best and to provide an example of service that our customers acknowledge really is the best, then we need to know how good that is. We really need to know how high is the bar. To use an analogy, if your goal was to be the fastest man in the world, that is the fastest time over 100 metres, what is the first thing that you'd need to know? The answer is you'd need to know the time. You would need to know that 9.58 seconds is the current world record, the best. With this knowledge, all of the necessary planning, training and preparation would be aimed at beating that record time. This is benchmarking against best in class. If, however, you did not have this information and were simply competing against yourself, looking inwards, so to speak, you might be seeing improvement with training over time, but you would always be oblivious to and very unlikely to achieve best-in-class performance. And so it is with supply chain performance benchmarking. So reason number 1 is so that you can understand what best-in-class is and use this as a basis of determining the end so that you too can begin with the end in mind. Reason number 2, why benchmark my supply chain, is that analysis of the Benchmarking Success database suggests that best-in-class supply chains operate at half the cost of their peers. Half the total supply chain cost. Have a look at the chart behind me. No matter what the industry sector, and there are 6 on the chart, those that provide best-in-class service operate at half the cost of those that provide only average service. In this case, total supply chain cost is measured as a percentage of sales. So here is the counterintuitive truth about supply chains. The better the level of service provided, the lower the cost. I say counterintuitive because typically we associate a higher cost with a better level of service. For example, we pay more for a better level of service on airplanes. We pay more for an improved standard of service in selecting a hotel. But this is not the case for supply chains. But why? How can this be explained? Well, there are 3 primary reasons for this, as provided by our customers when we ask them that question. Reason number 1 is that they get things right the first time. And they get it right the first time almost every time. As a consequence of that, there is no rework. There's no expediting. And there is no wasted cost in the process that's unnecessary. So reason number 2 is that customers tell us you can't focus on the service and not see the cost. A good example of that from one of our clients was where they required their warehousing operators to deliver irregardless of the level of service that was required. But as a consequence of understanding that and seeing that level of service, they very, very quickly understood the cost implications of doing that as well. So you can't look at the service and not inherently see the cost of providing that service. Reason number 3, and reason number 3 Most of our clients claim that as a consequence of providing an excellence in customer service, they're able to charge more as a result. That more comes either in an additional service for the cost, or in a lot of cases it came from simply increasing the unit cost to the market. Finally, reason number 3 comes from the supply chain mantra that you can't improve what you don't measure. Benchmarking is about comparing and understanding performance, and therefore measurement is a critical ingredient in that process. Measurement comes first, and then improvement may then follow once performance gaps are identified and plans made to bridge those gaps are put into place. Comparing your supply chain performance to other organisations with similar supply chains provides insight into where you need to improve. It also provides numerical data, reports, and other details of what is best-in-class performance and how high is the bar. As a result of a process improvement report provided by Benchmarking Success, organisations are provided with such details as how my supply chain performs compared to other supply chains, the areas identified for improvement, an improvement plan, and identified savings. So to summarise, the reasons to benchmark your supply chain are: number 1, to understand how high the bar is. What is the 9.58 seconds equivalent for your business? How good do we have to be to demonstrably be best in class? Number 2, because best in class supply chains operate at half the cost of their peers. And number 3, you can't improve what you don't measure. Thank you.